Okay, so we are working on Edpuzzle Unit 6, Desmos Unit 6, Lesson 10. The first slide is a video that 2.5 minutes, so you're going to watch the video. We did watch it in class. Slide 2 is going to talk about the mistake that has happened in this solution. So Noah solved this equation. So if you see that it has 2 and then times the quantity of x minus 9, and then Noah went ahead and did plus 9 on both sides. So if you recall, we said that if you want to go ahead and start trying to get rid of the 9, you have to distribute the 2 first, which is going to give you 2x minus 18. And in that case, you are no longer going to add 9, you are going to add 18 to both sides. And then from that point on, you are going to fix it. So the mistake is happening on the second line, and that's where you want to fix it. And of course, fix the rest of it. Then we go to the next slide. This one also is Elena's work, and she also has a mistake here. So she distributed, she got 2x minus 18 equals 10, so she did that correctly. And then she is going ahead and she's doing subtract 18 on both sides. So if you have 2x minus 18 and we want to get rid of the minus 18, we are supposed to add 18 to both sides. So the mistake is happening in line 3. So you want to fix it, add 18 to both sides, and that's how you're going to have to fix the rest of it. The next slide is Andre's work, and he has done it correctly. He decided to use the distributive strategy. So he distributed and he's done everything correctly. So as you can see, his answer is x equals 14, and that is correct. So you are going to type that in the box. The next one, which we've done in class, so one of the strategies that you can solve this one is that you can go ahead and choose a different color. You can choose a thinner pencil. So you can go ahead and divide both sides by 2000. Okay? You can go ahead and divide by 2000 on both sides. Okay? So that is going to get rid of the 2000 being multiplied by the quantity of x minus 0.03. So that's going to be 1. That's going to be 1. So on the left side, we are going to have x minus 0.03 equals 3. When I divide 6,000 by 2,000, I will get 3. Now, if I want to get rid of minus 0.03, I'm going to go ahead and add this number to both sides. So in that case, this is going to give me 0 and x equals 3.03. So that's the answer that I'm going to get. I can also solve this by distributing the 2000. The numbers are going to be a little bit bigger, but it's definitely doable. Then we go to the next slide, number 6. So this one, we can also go ahead and solve it with the same strategy. We can divide both sides by 2. So as you can see, dividing, the strategy that uses dividing first, it's probably a little bit easier because the numbers get smaller. So we have x plus 1.25 because 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1. So yeah, now you have only one quantity of x plus 1.25 equals, I'm going to divide this, I'm going to get 1.75. Okay, so now if we want to cancel the 1.25 or we want to get rid of it, we will do the inverse operation, and that is minus 1.25. a little bit messy. So 1.25 on both sides, subtract. I'm going to draw these lines to keep them organized. So this is going to cancel, and you will have x equals, do the subtraction, and it will give you 0.5. So you want to, in the box, you want to type about why you're using this strategy, this particular strategy. You can also decide to distribute. So you will get 2x plus 2.5 equals 3.5. And then you subtract 2.5 on both sides, which is going to leave you with 2x equals 1. And then divide by 2, and then 1 divided by 2 will give you 0.5, which is the same answer. We go to the next one. So this one is a little bit more complicated. So we can, again, do the same strategy as long as you know how to use or how to work with fractions. So dividing by 1/4 on both sides, by 1/4. Okay, so that's going to leave you with 4 plus x equals. Now you have to do 4/3 divide by 1/4. So 4/3 divide by 1/4. I'll do it here and then I will erase it so I have the space to use. So if you remember dividing fractions, you have to do 4/3 times 1/4. So you flip the second fraction and it is no longer division, it's turning into a multiplication. So this is, oh, I didn't flip it. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this one. I said flip and then I did not flip it. So it's going to be 4/1. Okay, so that's going to give you 16/3. So here we get 16/3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase the division so I can use the space for the rest of my problem. Okay, so continue. Now we want to get rid of the 4, so we have to do subtract 4 on both sides, -4 and -4 on this side. Now we have to know how to subtract fractions because we have 16/3 minus 4 or 4/1. If you remember, for adding and subtracting fractions, you need to have common denominator. So I'm going to keep 16/3 and I am going to change this to a denominator of 3. So if I go ahead and multiply by 3 times 3, okay, let me rewrite this, times 3. So that is going to give me 12/3. And now I can simply go ahead and subtract. You know that the denominator stays 3. 16 minus 12 is 4. So I will be getting x equals 4/3. And I can box my answer to show that that's my final answer. So I can go ahead and type about what I did. You really have to focus about doing the operations on fractions correctly. Otherwise, this is the same, just the same way that you solve the other ones. Next one should be easy, just like the other ones. Now, because we have done the divide first strategy on the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and solve this by distributive property, just so you have a sample of a different strategy as well. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So -10 times x is going to give me -10x. -10 times -1.7 is going to give me +17. And I don't need to use a calculator. 10 has 1 0, 1.7 has 1 decimal, so the decimal and the 0 kind of cancel each other out, so you are left with 17 equals -3. So now I'm going to go ahead and subtract 17 on both sides, minus 17. Okay, that's going to help me cancel this. So I have negative 10x equals negative 20. If you remember, we said subtracting negative 3 minus 17, you have to change it to addition, add the opposite. So it's going to be negative 3 plus negative 17. And because they have the same sign, we add them and we keep the sign, so we end up with negative 20. Now, we are going to divide both sides by negative 10, and that is going to help me cancel negative 10. Divide by negative 10 is 1, so we are left with 1x, or just x, equals 2. Now it's positive 2 because negative. Divide by negative is going to be a positive answer. So the answer for this one is 2. And we did this with a different strategy, different than the previous slides. We did it by distributing the negative 10. You can, of course, go ahead and do the divide first strategy. And on the next slide, you have what questions do you have. So make sure that you add something in here and you don't just leave it like not applicable. Okay, so this is 6.10 Desmos. Thank you for paying attention and I hope this was helpful. Bye.